Welcome to this week's episode of the If You Know, You Know podcast. My name is Mike Price, and I'm your host, the man with one hand on the wheel, headband covering my eyes as I guide us through season 2 of Survivor Southampton. In the sidecar to my left, the man who went 0 for 2 tonight, and the man who is 0 for 4 this season, Lenny Greenfield.
Hi.
Oh,
What do you mean by 0 for 4 this season?
0 for 4 in immunity challenges. What the hell's
Oh,
going on?
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, another good week for the Rubo tribe.
Can we just get a quick reaction from you on the fact that you've now lost 4 immunity challenges in a row? What's your mindset at this point, right at the end of the episode? I know we're jumping straight to the end, but at this point, you lost 4 challenges on the bounce. What's going through your head?
I think there's genuine thought that we're never going to win a challenge. Like that was really like I just thought we're just going to keep losing here, and I just hope Mike calls the merge before we're all gone.
Oh, from my perspective, so like after like the first 2 or 3, I was just like, this is great. This is going to build such a good narrative for the game because like one team keeps losing, like they're all going to be rootable. And then after you lost the 4th one, I was just like, now I'm quite concerned there's not going to be any of them left.
I think I said it in the episode. We're just shit. We really are just shit. I don't understand how we keep losing. I mean,
I
that
thought I
match,
thought you were the Stack tribe as well. I thought you'd absolutely dominate.
yeah, but the big players didn't perform at the
They
end of
didn't
the
perform
day.
when it counted. At no point. In fact, all of you lost. I've just been doing I've been making the previously on for episode 5, and I was just saying, oh, they lost the immunity challenge, and I had a clip for every single member of the team getting beaten in the rope challenge.
Yeah, I was shit at the rope challenge. Really, really not very good at that
Oh.
one.
Well, maybe you're a bad person to get your insight on the strategy of the rope challenge. Let's
Yeah, you
let's
need
jump straight into the
Oscar.
episode then. First of all, I think they walked out and did some weird celebration, but no one caught it on camera, so we don't get to enjoy that back. Um, this rope challenge, it's from the TV show The Challenge. There's a really good video of it on YouTube. On this particular one, like they're not stood on stools, they're stood on like platforms, but it's not like a stool, it's not quite as wobbly as that. And they're a lot further away from each other. And also like you can't see the middle of the rope, it's like underground. So it's even more balance based than this one was. But based on everyone's confessionals, everyone seems to be under the impression that it's 100% strength. Whereas at the time I was definitely sure that it was a lot more balance based. So just before everyone comes out for the challenge, I think Ruba had wandered inside as well. So it was just me and the crew setting up the challenge at the time. And Slaw was still around at that point. He hadn't disappeared off yet. So he was demoing the challenge with me. We were just like practicing how to do it. I think he'd asked what the challenge was, so I was just showing him. So it was me and him that were doing it. And I know how to do it quite well, I think. So then it was
Yeah.
while we were doing it, because I beat Slaw quite skillfully, I may add. I think Oscar came out and he kind of watched the tail end of it. So I think that's a little it definitely gives him a
Ah,
little bit of a bonus
he's a
advantage.
cheat, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fully void.
Slapped me in the last challenge, cheated on this challenge. Get him out of the game.
I think it definitely contributed, but Oscar is just incredible at all of these challenges, and I don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone on our team would have beaten Oscar in that challenge.
He's just big. He's big and he's strong, and he clearly just had some idea of how the challenge worked. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're in a bit of trouble there. So I explained the challenge, and just before everyone gets into their groups, Max says to Big Dog, it's time for a real tug off. Can you explain what he might have been referencing?
I can. I can't remember the exact name of the quiz game.
No, me neither.
It was like quiz in friends or something like that on the Wii, and and I can't remember what they called it in the game because we just called it a tug off from the second because like
I think it was called that.
you just have to shake the Wii remote, so you're just going like this as fast as you can.
Oh, I'm so tired.
You can do it.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think what happened
definitely
is,
send
so
that.
when we did it at the start, I kind of figured out how to do it quickly. So I kind of won a lot of the early games, and then I think you figured it out. So then you always started winning, and then I think at that point, Big Dog then turned up, and he was just incredible.
I, did I hear that Zhao was really good at
Yes, that was it. I knew there was one more person that
it?
up to even higher. Zhao turned up like one night for I think it was Pancake Day or something, and that was when he put like sausages and cream on a pancake.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
that
then
was
he
a.
beat us all in a tug off, and we even put up Big Dog against him, and he was just undefeated.
Was that the same game as or is it a different game that had the double points dance?
I think that was the same one.
What a game! What a game!
I've got a video. What was the action? It was just like that. That was how you got the the bonus.
Did you discover that move? It's one of the all-time great fights.
Me, you, and Max, we were just like doing that, and then we're trying to like figure out how to get those double points. It's like, oh God, I'm not even sure it was the speed that got the double points. It was just like that kind
It
of.
was just the motion. I think if you slowed it down, it was even better.
Oh my god. No way. Keep going.
Oh, he lost it in the end. Fucking
He
dance.
hasn't got my style. I'm sorry, man. He's just not quite good enough.
Oh, it's still awesome dance.
Who was
He
it that
was
broke 2.5 in the end? Because he was always you were able to get like consistently about 2.2 by doing that, but none of us had ever beaten 2.4. And someone got 2.5 one day. Do you remember who that was?
I
Was it?
know it wasn't me because I would have been. I would have remembered that if it was me. Maybe
Yeah, I feel like
Max.
same for me.
I feel like it wasn't TG Robbo either, so I reckon Max.
Maybe Max, right? We'll give Max credit.
I'll rule out Veronica.
It seems unlikely, but there's always a chance Big Dog might have snuck it. I feel like I was in the room when it happened. I remember thinking, damn it, I really wanted it to be me, the one that would beat
Yeah,
2.5.
would have loved to have been that guy.
So yeah, anyway, so that's what a real tug off is. So that's why Max was excited to tug off against Big Dog. Um, so what do you guys say when you get into your huddle? Because that I don't think there was any footage at all for that. Were you trying to figure out strategies individually or strategies as a team?
I assume we were trying to think up more team, like how do we play this? Like, do we just sacrifice certain rounds? Because like realistically, if you're going up against an Oscar, maybe it is just better to send in your chaffest player. Like everyone's going to lose, so you might as well just let them lose easily. Which is what the other team did with Holly versus one of our
Yeah, they,
big
they really
lads,
threw Holly to the
Will, I
wolves there in
think.
the second round up against Will.
Yeah, and no offense to Holly, but Will is a fair bit stronger. But it's good strategy because then, you know, you can use your bigger boys elsewhere for more guaranteed points.
So you go up, you're the guinea pig for this challenge, and you're up against Oscar. Okay, so you get on the podium, you start going, what's going through your mind? What are your tactics? How are you trying to get this Goliath off the platform?
Yeah, well, I think I'm definitely. I don't know how much thought actually went into it from me, but I knew I was definitely weaker than Oscar. So I thought maybe I think I was sort of just going on the element of surprise. I think you can see I do a few yanks.
Hmm.
I wasn't trying for consistent strength. I thought a few jolts of force might knock that man off balance. But if you watch the video back, I'm not sure he moves an inch.
You got him here. You got him here. You got him here, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar. You got it. Yeah, good, Oscar.
So that didn't work.
I think that's the other thing about Oscar. He's just a sturdy guy.
Yeah, like he just didn't move and he had the strength. So I just don't think he would have beaten everyone there.
I've got another question for you. Were you terrified at Noel stare at you guys after he beat Lucy?
Show your power, Lucy. You got it.
Yeah, it was quite scary. What I was scared watching it back.
Quite imposing.
I guess one of us had probably heckled Noel during that. That's why he's done it.
I don't even know if
Sure.
that was the case. I think he was just trying to stare you down. I think that was the only time that he went in that challenge as well.
It was a very good stare down.
Um,
I enjoyed Sock shouting they don't want it towards the end. That's good fun.
There were some great shouts from the crowd in that one. I really enjoyed a lot of them. You shouting, "You've got nothing, Sock."
Got nothing, Sock.
Definitely a personal highlight. Okay, so you go up again, and this time you're against Ben. It goes no better.
No. I mean, I've not got a lot of strength, and I'm also very lanky, which I can't imagine helps the balance situation on that little podium. I think our podium was in a little more of an unbalanced position in the garden.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned about that because after the challenge, when I'm giving immunity to the others, Big Dog and Will immediately go to investigate the other team's podium, and like it because when I demonstrated it with Slaw, like we both did it and it seemed fine. But I didn't actually like wobble any of the podiums around. So it briefly flashed through my mind, just like, oh no, have I accidentally made it really unfair? But then they didn't complain after that, so they seemed to be satisfied.
Yeah, I'm still saying it was against us because just to just an excuse for that crushing defeat. It really wasn't even close, was it?
You were all
It's like,
quite terrible, actually.
yeah,
How many
yeah.
rounds did you win? You won 4 rounds. I've got the list here, actually. Okay, so uh, Oscar beats you, Will beats Holly,
Yep.
Noel beats Lucy. So Big Dog beats Max. Oh yeah, that's when Max falls over.
The proper
Strath
tug off.
Strath beats Divya. Isaac loses to Sock. You lose to Ben. Big Dog beats Zhao. Oh, Zhao wasn't very good either. Isaac loses to Billy. Was that did that get a big reaction from you? Were you expecting that one?
No, no, that's a big win. That is a big win for Billy.
Credit to Billy there. Lucy loses to Sock. Divya loses to Noel. Oh, well done, Noel. So Noel won two. He beat Lucy and Divya. Well done.
That is classic Noel. He's definitely, seen them go up and he's leapt for it.
Oh, okay, so both times Noel went up, and you sent Lucy and Divya to their deaths against Noel.
Yeah, fair play.
You must have thought Noel was good and were basically losing that one.
Yeah, I mean Noel's very strong as well.
Do you reckon he's stronger than Oscar?
No, no. I think Oscar's the strongest person there. And then it's sort of your Noel, Strath, Isaac, Will.
Sock won both of his. Sock beat
Sock's
Isaac and
surprisingly
Lucy.
strong. Sock's surprisingly strong, to be fair.
So after Noel beat Divya, Will then lost to Oscar. You shouldn't have put up yourself and Will against Oscar. Then Isaac beat Strath, and then Big Dog lost to Ben at the end. So
Yeah.
your points were gained by Will, Big Dog twice, and Isaac. All right, fair play. Because
Funny, we could have sent Big Dog up 12 times in a row.
well, Ben Roberts had a confessional at the end, and I think I cut this bit out when he was just like, "Oh yeah, I went up against their best player." Because at the time I was thinking, "Really, Big Dog?" But based on the stats, he's right.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong.
Yeah, Big Dog was the your best player up there.
You sure he wasn't saying that about me?
No, because he goes on to say Big Dog's a man that I don't want to be on the bad side of. That's basically it from the challenge. Did you
Yeah.
learn anything if you were to ever do it again? Any tactics, tips for anyone?
Yeah, if I was to do it again, I think I'm just going to be bad at that challenge no matter what. And it's, you know, you've got to go for, I'd just be going for one of the either yank it when they're not expecting it or just loosen your grip when they pull and hope they fall backwards. And I just don't really have much else in my locker. So hopefully that challenge never comes up again.
Yeah, all right. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So on to the strategy now. So we've already gone through your mindset now at losing 4 in a row. So you start off here in a group with Lucy and Divya, and Big Dog, Isaac, and Will have all gone off together. Was this a deliberate move by you? Was this accidental? If you had your pick, would you have chosen those two to start off with in this strategy session?
I don't think it's the worst thing to start off with because, you can get the ideas out of them, sort of plant the idea of someone that's not you, to them, see what they have to say as well, and then go to the other three knowing that you feel all right with them. So hopefully your name's not out from them either.
Yeah,
And
so in your mind, you're already in an alliance with all of the other three that are over there. So you think that if you start off with like the two outsiders, then at least
Yeah.
if whatever name they propose probably won't end up being yours.
Yeah, and then I'm over there proposing Will, who's the person I'm less sure of
Mm.
out of those three over there.
Yeah, it
But
puts a
yeah,
bit of faith in your group as well because they might be over there just like, Lenny's talking to the others. Can we trust him anymore?
yeah, I mean there was a bit of that chatter from them, especially Will, but I was sort of in the mode that we're going to keep losing. So I think playing both sides is probably good. Trying to be friends with everyone's probably good. Where you're worried that you're going to have to be one of the final few on the tribe to survive.
A question off that, does it matter who you start the strategy session with? Because we saw in round two, yourself, Isaac, and Big Dog all started off together. Immediately you say Faris's name, you go around, you spread that.
I think it can be very important. I think it probably depends on the round more than anything. I think some rounds will end up being more important to have the right conversations at the end. I think especially like the first round where like a lot of names get thrown out at the start and it's only at the end that you sort of finalize what you're doing.
Right.
But in a round like this, I think it's always nice to know the plan straight away. But I think that one was always going to be Lucy versus Will.
We move over to the conversation between Will, Isaac, and Big Dog. Will says that Lucy has been shocking in the challenges. Is this true?
I mean, we've all been shocking, to be fair. There's not been many standout performances from the Ruber tribe.
I've got a
Um,
list of the challenges we've had so far here. So the blindfold challenge was fully on Will,
Fully Will's fault. Yeah,
fully Will's
absolutely
fault.
Will's fault.
The pole build, I think the other team just came up with something janky and it happened to work. Like you could argue Isaac and Divya weren't great, but if we're
I don't even know if Lucy took part in that challenge. Was she not the third
yeah,
pair?
Lucy was not involved in that challenge at all, so
So, okay, not done
can't
anything
take any
wrong
blame
there.
here. The memory challenge, I think, is where you got your best shot at
Yeah,
saying Lucy did
I guess
badly.
it's more recent as well. So it plays on the mind more.
Mm. And then the tug of war, she went 0 for 2, I think. But
There's no shame in that. There's no
as
shame
I
in that.
said at the start, no one did well. I think so you're you're tied worse in that challenge with Lucy and Divya.
Whee! I
I
wasn't
mean, if
getting
you
those
just
mentions,
compare the sizes of those three players, do you think
but
it's
no,
just that you're tall and lanky and your center of gravity is like so high?
I mean, I'm not a strong lad either. Um, quite weak. Yeah, I think that's just everything's wrong for me in that challenge. But no one mentioned me. Um, so maybe it looks like I was really trying. Or maybe to be fair, Oscar doesn't count as a loss. That's just, nothing you can do. Ben Roberts, okay, maybe that's a winnable match that I've fumbled, but
On a better day,
on a better day, maybe I could have had him. I think I could have had my best day, and Oscar could have had his worst, and I would have lost that matchup.
maybe we can start thinking about putting Ben in the same category as Oscar as people that are just weirdly incredible at all of these challenges because
Well,
he's come in clutch in quite a few moments for the blue team.
apart from last week,
Oh yeah, last week he came this close to getting voted off apparently. So you have your first round of conversations, then everyone kind of splits up, forms new groups. Lucy goes over to Big Dog and Isaac and starts proposing Will's name.
I think the general consensus seems to be well, unless you guys have any other thoughts.
It's a difficult one because there's so few of us for that challenge. It's just hard for all of us. So
I mean, obviously, I wasn't great at that challenge, but
yeah, but you and Dee being the smallest people here, it's quite tough for you two, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was
We also lost someone we're much bigger than you.
It was a strength game.
I think
Strength,
there probably
bit of
won't be
balance.
another. I reckon.
Can your fingers take the rope burn?
Can you take the pain?
Yeah, because it does hurt now. It really hurts now.
Do you think Isaac and Big Dog did a good job here at lying to Lucy? Because they basically just kind of talked over her and started talking about the challenge rather than anything strategy related. Should this have been a red flag to Lucy?
I think they did well. Like, yeah, deflecting is good, but I think initially, I think you just sort of, it's not the worst idea to just pretend to agree, I feel, and then start talking about something else. But they just sort of went, it was sort of just a bit awkward, and then they started talking about the challenge. And if that happened to me, I'd be like,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
not
that was
I
a
would
red
not be
flag to
feeling
Lucy as
good.
well.
Yeah.
I think if they just agree straight away, then she doesn't sort of she doesn't push as hard for Will as she does later in the round. Oh yeah, also I want to track your opinion throughout this strategy process. So at the start, it's just you, Lucy, and Divya. On the Will to Lucy scale, How close are you to? Are you leaning more towards Will at this time?
I think I could have been convinced either way, but I think I was probably more on the Lucy side of the scale.
What? So right at the start, when you've only spoken to Lucy and Divya, you're still currently leaning towards Lucy to vote off.
Yeah, but that's probably the furthest I was towards Will on the scale. But I think I was just trying to stay open and
Mm.
just see what everyone else was saying. Because, I mean, yeah, you just want to be on the right side of it, don't you?
Right. Do you think there was ever a possibility that you would have voted off Will that round?
Yeah, I mean, if like if Chris had been convinced to do it, or Isaac, and there's three people doing it, yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely could have.
because you and Big Dog don't chat this round. But if you'd have chatted and he'd have been like, I think, because at that point you were basically the decision makers. If he was just like, I think we got to take out Will, do you jump on with that and put your
Yeah,
vote
yeah, I
in?
think so.
Okay. I've got another good strategy, bad strategy question for you. Big Dog telling Lucy in front of her that he thinks she's the dumbest. Is that a good strategy or bad strategy?
Bad strategy. Bad strategy. Also, shout out to, I think that's the Big Dog Lucy conversation that ends in one of the worst hugs I've ever seen in my life.
Don't worry about
I just cut it into the previously on for the next episode as well, so we'll be able to relive that.
That was absolutely atrocious.
Is that the new you and Oscar?
Oh,
One of
yeah,
those?
well, probably not that bad. Also, I got left hanging for a high five in this episode. I don't know if you saw.
I didn't notice. No. Wow.
Like at the end, I think it's either at the end or the start of the challenge, we're all like high-fiving each other.
Oh.
And I'm just my hands up there for so long, and then it cuts, I think, and I don't know if I ever got
Shall we do two reactions as to whether you got the high five or not? All right.
that.
So
Okay, yeah,
let's assume that you got the high five. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you did get the
yeah,
high
come
five. Well
on.
done. And then we'll do the reaction where you didn't get it. It's like, oh, how embarrassing. Oh
Fuck
no.
off, fuck off. High five me, dickheads.
If Lucy had been the one to high five you there, if she'd have saved you from that embarrassment, would you have voted off Will?
Oh no, probably would have meant nothing to me.
Oh, you proposed an alliance with Divya. You tell her that you want to work with her. Was this a spur of the moment thing, or was this something that you've been planning for a while? Were you just like, I do want to work with Divya, but like you hadn't had a time
I,
where it's just the two of you?
I was just thinking about it, and I was like, Divya seems like she'd be a loyal person,
Mm.
and
And also, were you thinking, and she's tight with Lucy, and Lucy's going this round?
it's never a bad idea. I think just I was just trying to get everyone on my side, and then just try and work out anyone but me,
Mm.
was essentially the strategy. And if you're friends with everyone, you can feel a bit safer. Thought Divya would just be a good ally to have, especially like post merge.
At this point, are you just having to play every round, just assuming that there'll be a merge and then all of you make it out, or are you trying to play it as if, oh, we're definitely coming back to tribal council, so let me make sure I've got my numbers for that?
Yeah, I thought we were going to lose every challenge, so I was expecting to go to the merge with like three of us,
Mm.
two, three of us.
So, Big Dog unconvincingly tells Lucy that he's going to vote for Will, and then we get that lovely hug. Lucy reads Big Dog that he's going to vote her off, and I think
Yeah,
that's a correct read.
a very, some would say one of the easiest reads of all time. Um, Not his best work in terms of lying. Um,
So then we cut to a chat between Will and Isaac, and we start to realize that instead of having a four and a two, we've actually, by the look of things, starting to split into three different pairs. So Will and Isaac now forming their own little alliance of two, with the theory behind it that Lenny's known for being a bit of a backstabber.
Yeah, and I actually did want to talk about this because that sort of reputation, it sort of means that you ha do have to be a backstabber because you can't get away. As soon as you have that reputation, everyone assumes you're going to do it. But if you don't do it, they'll just vote you out. They'll just backstab you. So you do have to you just you just have to.
So you're saying that because of your reputation as a backstabber, so if you four continue on through the game, you think you'll be the first one that gets turned on?
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone thinks I'm going to do it first. It's such a nightmare, and then it just sort of proves that you are because you can't do anything else. It's very hard to play the game as an honest man when everyone thinks you're completely dishonest.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those things that you can only prove by not backstabbing and therefore getting shafted yourself. And
Yeah,
then, yeah,
and I'm not willing to do that.
yeah. I'm not willing to throw away one game in order to, if there's ever anyone in the future, to get more trust there. Okay, so I'm very interested to talk about Divya in this strategy session. So we see a chat between Big Dog and Divya. Do you think Divya tried at all to save Lucy this round?
No, not really. Well, yeah, but I don't think that hard. I think there's something in not you don't want to try too hard. If you can see that someone's days really are just numbers, you sort of don't want to become the next target, do you?
I mean, she was having one-on-one chats with you and then Big Dog, where she could have been able to say, look, I really want Lucy still in the game. Let's really push to save her, especially in the chat with Big Dog. Big Dog was throwing out Will as a suggestion, and Divya was shooting it down. And she actually did the same earlier when with you and Lucy, when you suggest Will. It might be because she would rather get rid of Isaac. Maybe she felt closer to Will for some reason. But it did seem to me that about 2 minutes into the strategy session, I think she just threw in her lot with you guys and was just like, I'm going to let Lucy go, but I don't feel like I want to write her name down. So she still voted
Yeah,
with Lucy, which we can come to that, but it did seem like she was fine to let Lucy go at that point.
yeah, it did sort of seem that way.
Do you think this is a good or bad choice for Divya?
Um, I mean, it's quite scary being seeing a sort of alliance of four and then being the fifth person. But I mean, if you trust your little alliance with Chris, then all it takes is to sort of flip one of the other three of us, and then suddenly Div is in the majority again.
I mean,
So it
that's true,
just
especially because now she thinks she's got a relationship with you as well. So maybe
so
those are the
yeah,
two people she can pull in. And she doesn't actually know that there's an alliance of four. Or
yeah, that's
despite
very
Big
true.
Dog's best efforts last round when he told her that the four guys feel safer together.
But yeah, I think if I was in Divya's position, I'd be quite scared going into the next round.
I think, yeah, by the end, she'd realised that she sort of needed Lucy in the game. But I don't know. I think she just came to the decision that like Lucy needs to go if we want to win challenges. And I think that was sort of the best that she was hoping for, that you were just going to start winning. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for Divya there. Also, okay, so we go back to Will and Isaac, and Will has some more things to say. Uh, Will says that Lenny and Chris are all over the shop and willing to do whatever it takes to get them the win.
I mean, to be fair, I can't speak for Chris, but for me, that is essentially accurate. Uh, I will just say anything to anyone, if it's what they want to hear. Um, that's 70% of my strategy is just agreeing with most people
I
in the
mean, it's a smart thing to
conversations.
do.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, but not many people were doing it.
right at the end of the strategy session, we see a chat between you and Lucy, which thankfully you guys whisper, which is really irritating for me. I have to really put in a shift to try and figure out what you guys are saying for the subtitles. But at the end of the chat, Lucy, you put on quite a convincing performance, and we'll get to fan corner later. But they were convinced, a lot of them, that you might be considering voting off Will here. And you end the chat with, right, okay, I'm down. I'm going to go and speak to Isaac. Did you have any intention of voting with Lucy at this point?
No, I don't think so. But you just tell them what you want to hear, what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Fun fact as well, after this had happened and we were I think just later on in the day, Lucy asked me if I did vote for her, and I said no. Just carried on the lie.
To be fair, I never read out the third vote, so you could have just been like,
Yeah.
no, they're definitely the next one definitely would have said Will as
Yeah,
well.
no, that was. I think that's essentially what I said, which is a very bold lie for myself. But
So they didn't even put my vote out. My vote was for Will as well. I got nullified
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay, so we get to tribal council. The one thing that does get brought up, which unfortunately, it wasn't quite on film because there was two groups for ages, so there were two people filming, and then Will and Isaac broke off into their own group, so they were chatting, and then I then like look over from inside, see what's going on, so I then run out with my camera, but I just missed the moment when Lucy walks over and tries to join them, and Will tells her to go away. Because that's the thing that they talk about at tribal. So basically, it's the Will's having a discussion with Isaac. Presumably, this is when he wants to be like, oh, let's make a
Yeah,
pact as like the two of us going to go off together. Lucy walks over, and obviously Will's about to be like, definitely get rid of Lucy. She's bad. She's bad. And at that point, he then turns to him and be like, can you just give us a second? We actually, I really want to speak to Isaac here. So that was the moment that Lucy was quite put out by a tribal council.
yeah. I would be happy either if that happened to me. Like it's just, yeah. I mean, if the warning flags, if the alarm bells aren't ringing at that point, they definitely would be after that. You think, fucking hell, I'm screwed here. I am screwed.
But I guess if you're at that point, it's really late on in the round. You know there's less than a minute left, and the person that's gunning for you comes over, and you're gunning for them. You may as well just be like, "Well, I don't need to speak to you. Like, we're clearly
Yeah,
not voting together. We're probably voting for each other. You go away, so I can speak to this person and really convince them."
yeah. I mean, fair play. I love Will. I love watching Will.
Yeah, I
Um,
think either way, it's the Will Lucy dynamic. We'll get into a little bit more in a bit, but it's been brilliant, and I'm
yeah.
devastated it's been cut short by episode 4. So we get to the vote, and Will Jeffrey pulls out a hidden immunity idol. First of all, is this a complete shock to you?
Well, to me, no. To an unfortunate set of circumstances, I already knew that he had an idol.
Ah,
Um, where basically Liam was filming. I just wanted to go out and do my confessional, and I just walked past, and he was just holding it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, Will."
okay.
Um, so I was just playing as if I hadn't seen it, and was just I just sort of took it out of my mind, but I didn't know
Okay,
he
no,
had it.
that's good of you. I appreciate that as a showrunner because like I've watched back that confessional and like I think it's Liam filming. He's got Will right up against the door, and you walk past to go out the door outside the front of the house, which is where you were filming yours. I couldn't tell if you would have seen it.
Yeah,
Um,
I had, but I
okay.
was just like, it's not fair on Will if I use the information. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep that to myself. Um,
Yeah, I agree. I think
but
yeah, on that, I think there's a couple of things that you can like the way that the game works, there's a few things that you can do to try and abuse it. Like things like that, things like listening in on people's confessionals. I would say things like that are very frowned
not
upon.
on, not on.
Like I would say pre-gaming, listening on other people's confessionals and like listening in on other people's strategy conversations are all no-nos. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd agree with that.
if this does ever happen again and you happen to be a player, that's just kind of like respect the game kind of thing. Also turn up on time. That's the
Yeah, that's another reason that people were pissed
pitfall.
off at Sorensen as well because he was trying to listen to people's confessionals.
Yeah,
They completely forgot about that. Another thing to add to the list of
I
how he was annoying everyone that day.
I've got a whole confessional of Oscar's that's just completely cut because Sorensen's at the top of the stairs, and Oscar's like, "What are you doing?"
But yeah, I
Um,
think I was maybe a little shocked that he chose to use it, the idol.
yeah, well, let's talk about it then. So, do you think it was the right choice for Will to play the idol?
I think even if I was confident that he did have the numbers, I still think it's not the worst idea to play it. Because all it takes is, like someone to be flipped and suddenly you are just out of the game. And sometimes it's just better to be in the next round than to be. I mean, you saw it on this season of American Survivor where it happened to like four different people in a row
Yeah, 4 people in a row.
where they had idols and they just didn't play them and they went out. And it's like, it's good to hold on to, but sometimes it's just good to make it to the next round.
Yeah, I agree. I think tick in the pro column for playing the idol is that the idol expired at the merge anyway. So like, he
Yeah,
doesn't know when the merge is. This might, as far as he knows, be the last tribal before the merge. So he may as well play it. Like he knows his name is out there. He knows
yeah.
that Lucy's voting for him. He knows Divya probably as well. That means one person flips and it's 3-all, and then it's all
And
up
then
in the
you're in big trouble. And I
I don't
think
think he's spoken to you at all in the whole strategy session apart from at the end, and he didn't trust you anyway. He's saying he doesn't trust Big Dog. I think it's the right call,
yeah,
personally.
I think so. Like because you'd just be so gutted if you didn't play it and two people did flip on you or one
Mm.
person flipped on you and you went out.
He also gave a confessional last round saying that he would have played it. So the round where Slaw left, he
Yeah.
probably plays it then. Okay, so we think Will made the right decision playing the idol. Was it the right decision? Like, obviously, any votes cast against Will wouldn't have counted anyway. So Lucy always leaves the game here. But was it the right choice to keep Will and get rid of Lucy if we ignore the fact that an idol was played? Because Lucy like pledged loyalty, was just like, I'm going to be with you at the merge. You were concerned that Will would go to Noel at the merge. That was the main thing that you were paranoid about. But you were just like, but maybe Will's better in the challenge. But then, like, was Will the one that was causing you to blow the challenges? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I think looking back, I think Lucy's been a bit hard done by the sort of narrative that she's not done well in challenges when realistically she did maybe slightly less well in the memory challenge, but other than that, has just done her job. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably a bit harsh, but yeah, I was just as long as it wasn't, I just wanted Chris Isaac and Divya still in the game. So for me, as long as it was one of the two of them, it wasn't really the end of the world. And I think you just think if there's like something that involves stamina, running, and Will is a bit of a winner. I mean, again, I said it in the video, not so far today, but he does seem like the kind of man that could pull out like a masterclass if at some point.
okay. I think I prefer loser Will a lot more than I would prefer winner Will. Like those confessionals are just no. In fact,
Yeah,
no. I think either one, we're still getting some great confessionals.
he's just great. He's just great entertainment.
Do you know, I don't care if he wins or loses. I just want him in the game. Like,
Yeah,
let's
I
keep
know
him around.
absolutely.
And same for Lucy as well. I'm gutted we've lost her. Let's go into Lucy's game a little bit. I feel like Lucy was she. I think she was right in her exit confessional. Like she was very much scapegoated by Will.
Yeah,
All the target put on her in round one. Can Lucy do anything to save herself? And first of all, I'll put that up there. Is there anything that Lucy could have done this round to keep herself in the game?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, especially
I,
with the
th-
idol coming out.
yeah, I think she did everything she could have done. I think she was genuinely very unlucky by the start by being immediately put as that target and then never really getting out of people's minds. I think maybe if in a world where Will does go out the first round, she doesn't save him. I mean, he has an idol, so he would have stayed. But had he gone then, I think maybe Lucy would have been fine then and sort of gone back under the radar. Could have gone back under the radar. But with Will still in the game and them just gunning for each other, it's always going to be hard.
The only out that she had, because Will's always going to be coming for her, especially if she doesn't save him at the first round.
Yeah,
She doesn't save him first round, he will definitely play as idol. So someone
yeah,
else goes home there. But then Will is probably in the game. He's probably gunning for him round two. So she probably
yeah,
goes at round two, unless she saved him round one.
yeah. I think it's just unlucky, very unlucky.
Mm. What do you think of the Lucy Will alliance?
Lucy
Because
will
like they
alive.
came together in round two, and then what happened?
I don't know. At one glorious moment where people can team up just to vote out Paris and then brings people together. Um, and yeah, there was maybe just never an enemy that big afterwards that needed that kind of cooperation.
Everyone was just subconsciously gleaning that I put Faris as my winner pick, and they're like, okay, guys, we can't let Mike be right 2 seasons in a row. I'm
A
still not with
collective
Faris
effort.
leaving. Faris, come back in the redemption challenge, all right, and win it for me.
I'll be tripping him up in that redemption challenge, doing everything I can to stop him.
Okay. Okay. A couple more bits and pieces before the end. So, Lenny, our episode title. Okay. I've got 4 suggestions for you. It's currently one of these right now that you may have noticed, but I'm willing to go back and change it
Yeah.
if you think one of these others are better. Okay. So we've got 4 here. The first one is Masterclass Tug of War Man.
Right.
I won't tell you who said any of these in case it biases it. We've got Our Greatest Weakness. We've got All I Managed to Win Was a Rope Burn. And we've got It Might Be Just About Surviving.
I think either the one it is right now, our greatest weakness, because the way Will delivers it is so funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know who says the last one, but that is also. But I think that's more of just a quote to maybe sum up the season than an episode
Yeah, that
title.
was the thing, that it might just be about surviving. It's a bit more general.
General,
Whereas
yeah.
Our Greatest Weakness is a bit more specific to this episode.
Our
So-
greatest weakness is such a funny thing to say that
And the fact that it was about a person.
it's just such a horrible way to describe someone on your team. It really made me laugh. So I think it has to be that.
Okay, all right. We'll keep it as is. Shout out to Will Jeffrey. Just everything he says is basically gold.
Drops some of the greatest lines.
Like the amount he's contradicted himself as well, just in this strategy session. If you're paying attention at the start, he's just like, it was no one's fault. Then almost straight away, he's just like, Lucy's been shocking in the challenges. Then he's speaking to Isaac later, and he's just like, yeah, we're really not voting about challenge strength now. It's all just about alliances. It's like, what?
I love him. He's great.
Oh God, I hope he makes it to the final.
Box office entertainment.
Okay. Oh, all right. This week's edition of Fan Corner. I'll scroll back through the last one. See if there's any comments on you and get your reaction. But Billy is the youngest. Man looks like he just got rinsed in a rough divorce and started a Mumford and Sons cover band.
Poor Billy.
Here we go. Here's one for you. The picture showing Slaw and Lenny fucking one up right as Liam is bigging him up. It's hilarious.
Which fucking what up?
It's in the memory challenge when Slaw gives you a clue and then run outside, and Liam's just like, good clue, it's Slaw. Just as the graphic on screen shows that you're about to get it wrong. A lot of the fans were very upset that you were copying Merak in the challenge, but
Too bad.
yeah, there you go.
That's what I said to that.
Oh, they thought you were
Okay.
taking the loss pretty hard, and then they said, I take it back, Slaw is taking it worse.
I think I did take the loss quite hard in that round. Understandably so.
A lot of people were very put out that we had to re-record the first half of that podcast because they wanted to see the anger really come out.
Yeah. Oof. I don't think you do want to see that anger. I think you'll really lower your respect for me.
I'm hoping that there's a lot more over the next few episodes that just really pisses you off. I hope you lose the next 4 and they're all controversial.
I can try and get angry if you want. I get angry just watching that blue team after a while.
Okay, all right. I'll put in a loads of unnecessary confessionals for him in the next few episodes then. All right, okay. Episode 4, fan comments. Okay. Lenny's little swagger into the ring is so funny, but Noel's nonchalant victory walkout tops it immediately.
Did I do a swagger into the ring?
Divya predicting she's about to get rinsed, but she gave Strath a decent run for his money, to be fair here. So shout out Divya. I think Strath he's probably one of the people that I wouldn't want to come up against in that one.
Yeah, not a chance.
Very smooth play by Big Dog against Max there. You love to see it. Oh, here we go. Fools ranked by how funny I found them, and I'll splice them in here so the viewer can enjoy
Nice.
them. 3rd place, Zhao losing to Big Dog. 2nd place, Lenny losing to Ben. And 1st place is Sock and Isaac.
He's wobbling! He's wobbling!
Apparently that was...
Really? I thought Max Belinesful was fantastic.
Oh, the only one that they were genuinely concerned for was Divya versus Noel. That was the reason why I was stood there, because I was worried that people were just going to fall off and like land weirdly. So I was basically there to catch people. Unfortunately,
Oh,
everyone's
okay.
much bigger than me, other than thankfully Divya, who was the one person that potentially might have needed my help. Honorable mention to the NPC looking stance you stood in the whole time. All right, that's a bit disrespectful. As I said, I was trying to stop people from.
You know, you didn't even have to read it out. It's disrespecting you. You could just skip it.
No, I got a. It's the fan service. Ben, you're not a big man for being slightly above average at primary school sports day. Settle down.
I won't take that. No going after Ben.
Oh, hey, no one's safe. Will, you're the one friend that didn't make the secret group chat here. Sorry. They think you were quite convincing with Lucy and Divya.
I'm a very convincing man.
They, this one says Lenny's pretty convincing here with Lucy and Divya. Big dog with Lucy, less so.
Big Dog was shit this round. In terms of trying to deceive Lucy, I think it's one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life.
There was a confessional with him, so I had to cut off Big Dog's confessional. First of all, because it was all just shit. Second of all, Liam Lou just walked in and started chatting to him, and then third when there was a plane going over. But it's basically Big Dog just laughing his head off, and then like Lucy walks past, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, definitely vote for Will, yeah, yeah." And then he's just like, "No, I vote for Lucy." Okay, last few comments. Divya being pretty savage here, wanting to keep Lucy around so she's not the weakest, but that's smart. Very interesting call about picking up the weaker members of Merak post-merge for a voting block. Definitely excited to see how that pans out. Yeah, do you want to say a couple of words about that? It was quite a good strategy you put out there at Tribal Council.
Yeah, I think it's sort of true where like if you're on the bigger tribe, um, whereas our tribe, you vote out your supposedly weak players. But if you sort of go to the merge and there's clear people leading the tribe, you've got to know if you're not one of those people and sort of be looking to jump ship because if you're at the bottom of an alliance, I just don't think you realistically have a chance of winning a lot of the time
Yeah, I think there's
if you
definitely
just stick
something there
with them.
because if you've been to Tribal Council a few times, you've got an idea of who's in the alliance, who isn't in the alliance, and you have a chance to therefore vote out all the people that aren't in the alliance. So I think
Yeah,
this was like if you'd have gone into the merge with both Lucy and Will, and they're still arguing all the time, that could be like very detrimental to your
I think
team
so.
because one of them or you know several people could flip to join Merak, and then like you're all fucked. So yeah,
But
the main issue
going,
is Merak haven't got to Tribal Council yet, so they don't know what their alliances are like.
well, yeah. Well, hopefully at some point they do. But I think going in with like, you do see a lot in the survival I've watched where the tribe that gets shafted can sort of just stick together for a lot of the game, which is, because they're more tightly bonded by the struggle.
Yeah, true. Okay, last couple. Lucy not holding back in the tribal council, and then they were asking if people knew that Will had an idol, which apparently you did. But no one else was
Yeah,
aware of it.
I didn't know it legally.
Yeah, Lenny was aware by unfortunate circumstances, but it didn't play a factor anyway because you weren't expecting Will to play it, and also Will wouldn't have been voted off. Um, so if we really want to do it in hindsight, Will fucked up by playing his idol. However,
Yeah,
we think it was a good decision.
you can't play it that way, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of people think Lucy was screwed over there just throughout the game.
Yeah,
I'm one of them. Lucy, like you did all you could, in my opinion.
deserve better.
I'm gutted that we lose Lucy here, to be honest. I think she had a lot of good confessionals. She was a
Yeah.
lightning rod for a lot of what was going on that tribe.
Oh, yeah, her and Will both just fantastic entertainment. Really the highs of this series so far. Obviously myself is the real high, but second and third,
Oh,
Lucy and
obviously,
Will.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last thing, Lenny, can you give us a tease for next episode? There's a big decision at the start. Everyone has to choose whether they want to switch tribes or not.
Yeah.
That's could be
That
very impactful.
that could make all the difference for the Ruber tribe by dissolving the Ruber tribe.
It could make things a
That
bit
would
fairer.
please just give us a good player.
Put me on a tribe with Oscar. Oscar's like he's like the Joey Amazing of the season. Like whatever tribe he's on will never go to tribal council. That's the
Yeah,
rule.
give Ruber Oscar from the start. And maybe we've won 4 out of 4 at this point. He's he's dynamite.
He was incredible at the memory challenge. I think maybe he still lose the pole building one because Will Jeffrey and Big Dog will go in there and take ages, and then
But he did the code Oscar in the
that is true. Has he?
um
Wait, let's really go back. Has Oscar just dominated every challenge? What was the first one?
what was the first challenge?
The first one was the blindfolded one. He was all right. Like that was mainly on
Yeah, I guess,
boulders,
yeah.
so that one's hard to do.
But every challenge he's been properly a part of, he's been fantastic.
Memory, he was great. The tugging off challenge, he was great as well. Yeah.
But maybe next week is the week where Oscar fumbles. Who's to say?
All right, well, we'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully, at this point, Oscar's on your tribe, and then he won't have to
Yeah,
fumble.
if he's on my tribe, he better not fumble.
That'll be the one thing that makes him fumble.
Yeah, the losing mentality of the Ruba tribe. Hard to stop.
But one more teaser for you: immunity idols.
Ooh.
They've been hidden this whole time. No one's found them, so I'm giving some clues. Right, I'm making it easier for people to find them. There's a couple of idols out there that expire at the merge. I want to see them get found. All right, let's make it even more interesting than it already is, especially since Will just burned one of the idols. So.
Two idols in the game.
Mm.
That's exciting. It's exciting. Idols always exciting.
I'm excited to see who's going to find them. Who's your pick to find the idols, Lenny?
My pick? Well, obviously I'll back myself. Best player in the fucking game. Of course I'm going to find one. And then on the blue team, who's crafty?
Zhao has been looking a lot. Zhao, I think he's the only one that's been looking.
Yeah,
I've seen
Zhao,
Isaac looking a lot as well. He's in the background of shots. He's always looking.
Max Beline. He knows the lay of the land.
That's
Just
true.
like me, playing the home advantage makes all the difference.
All right. Well, we'll keep our eyes on you and Max for next episode and beyond. All right. Well, thank you very much, Lenny, for this episode. Good luck in episode 5. Hopefully, you won't be back at Tribal Council.
Yeah, hopefully I'll come here a happy man, having not had to watch myself do Tribal Council again. One of those fucking blues gets voted. It'd just be nice to see them in action.
I like to
see some of their strategy. But
I've just remembered what the immunity challenge is. This is the one with charades in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beauty.
We've got a great immunity challenge coming up. It's one of my personal favourites.
I love that challenge. I thought I'm going to say right now, maybe the best challenge pre-merge.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's my favourite.
All right. Well, let's see how it all goes down in next episode. All right.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that back.